Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Energy and Environment Committee of Los Angeles City Council. Today is Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, and I'm Council Member Adrien Nazarian. It's an honor to welcome you all to the first meeting of Energy and Environment Committee as your chair. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the critical role that energy and environmental policies play in shaping the future of our city. Los Angeles has always been a leader in innovation and sustainability, and it is our responsibility to continue this legacy. Our committee's work will focus on advancing renewable energy initiatives, including but not limited to the goals of LA 100, promoting a sustainable water future with improvements to groundwater recharge, water recycling, and conservation goals, improving air quality, addressing the impacts of climate change, and achieving the goals of zero waste. But we can't do this without our friends in multi-jurisdictions and both the private and public sectors. So we will collaborate with community stakeholders, industry experts, our city departments, and fellow policymakers to develop and implement strategies that promote a cleaner, greener, and more resilient Los Angeles. I'm committed to ensuring that our efforts are inclusive and equitable, benefiting all residents of our diverse city. Together, we will work towards a sustainable future that prioritizes the health and well-being of our communities and the environment. Thank you for your dedication and support. I look forward to working with each of you as we embark. Sir, you've been warned. Thank you. As we each embark on this important journey together. As we all know, our city has faced numerous challenges in recent weeks, including severe windstorms and devastating wildfires. These events have underscored the critical importance of robust emergency preparedness and response strategies, particularly in the face of global climate change. The responses of the Department of Water and Power and the Bureau of Sanitation to these emergencies are crucial in addressing and recovering from such situations. Our power, water, and sanitation infrastructure is the backbone to our city's emergency response and recovery. This committee's jurisdiction includes both the DWP and sanitation. Given the multiple lawsuits filed against the LA Department of Water and Power in light of the Palisades wildfires, a city attorney insisted for the CEO and chief engineer of the department to not join us today. And there will not be a presentation for item number 1. However, members will have the opportunity to raise questions during a closed session at tomorrow's council meeting. Furthermore, once there is clarity on what can be discussed in open and closed sessions in the upcoming Energy and Environment Committee meetings, we will once again invite department representatives to present their emergency preparedness plans, their actions during recent emergencies, and their strategies for infrastructure recovery and plans on how we can build back better. Additionally, they will detail how they plan to assist homeowners and business owners in their recovery efforts following these devastating events. With that, Mr. Clerk, may I please have roll?
Thank you. Councilmember Nazarian.
Present.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky. She is currently absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman. And Councilmember Dia.
Present.
4 members and a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Colleagues, we have 14 items on the agenda, and I recommend approving items 2 to 14 on consent and holding items 1 on the desk. Are there any items?
Yes, I actually would like to call 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, and 12 for questions.
2, 4, 7, 8,
11, and 12.
11, and 12. Anything else? 4. Great. So noted. Let's move on to public comment. Madam City Attorney, Please read the instructions to how public comment for today's meeting will proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To members of the public wishing to make public comment, when it is your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you would like to speak on. You have 1 minute per item to speak, up to 2 minutes total, and 1 minute for general public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not speaking on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are speaking on a specific agenda item, you will get one brief warning from me or the chair. If you do not immediately get clearly on topic or again straight off topic, the chair will cut you off and you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. For those who would like to speak, please line up in the center aisle. Let's start with the first public speaker. Please state your name and what the agenda item or items you would like to speak on.
Yeah, hold on, I need to pour down here. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Okay, I want to speak on everything and public comment. Time is happenstance. We always go at it with Public Works, and I'll try to stay on topic.
Just a reminder, you have 2 minutes for your multiple agenda item public comment, and then we will let you know when we're beginning your 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I can remind you,
Congratulations on becoming chair.
thank you. And I can remind you when the first minute is up. Let's get back to 3 minutes. I'm sorry. I can remind you when the first minute is up so that you can move on to the next item if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. Number one, talking about reports and how to generate more money for the big crisis we just went going through. I just want to remind you that we've come numerous times telling you that the cult of Scientology dumped over 100,000 gallons of water, and DWP or nobody is. There's a lot of fines that could be had and assessed, but they are choosing not to because it's the cult of Scientology and everybody's afraid of them. That's a lot of money there. Number four. Okay. You're always coming for more money. Like every time you guys have all these different, whatever, the people always come asking for more money. Okay. Number four. Okay. So if you want revenue, if you have better oversight and better management of all the contracts, you could probably prevent them having to come back asking for all this money. But there's a lack of oversight on your contract. So they just come and say, "Oh, I need more money," and DWP, the
That's
public
1
works
minute.
says yes all the time. Okay. 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 Number 9. Okay. I don't like the idea of selling any kind of easements because I am concerned that they're going to try to get you to give up to vacation L. Ron Hubbard Way, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm very concerned about any time you're trying to get rid of or sell off any kind of public property. Uh, Number 11. Why haven't we done the water? This is where we battled the other day. Why haven't they done park water reclamation years ago? And your council districts are, in the park, they were talking about putting the reclamation underneath the parks. And I remember that's been a topic for, I'm going to guess maybe 10 years, back when even I was on the council there. And it's still not done. Like and so why?
1 minute remaining now. 1 minute
Okay,
remaining.
yeah, well, but I'm bouncing around. And so that would help. And it probably would help if they didn't have the one unplugged the reservoir and offline. That probably would have helped too. Okay, when it comes to 13, okay, it's like, I feel, okay, you guys are so broke right now. You want money to rebuild all this stuff. But the way it sounds like from the last meeting and probably in this meeting is that it feels like you guys are like the bully and trying to steal kids' milk money. Like, it's their milk money, and you guys are going to say, well, how do I get your milk money from you? And we're going to try to do whatever we can to take your milk money. And it's going to be through like legislation and see like, if I can get solve these problems. but it's really just being a bully, and I'm going to say that to your faces because you guys, unless you guys give up, like say, like you guys can give up half your pay to help put money in there. Unless you do that,
Thank you very much.
don't put it on us.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let's go to the next public speaker. Please state your name and what agenda items you would like to speak on.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
I would like to speak 113 and general public comment. Talking about number one is about wind and fire. First of all, I want to congratulate our council member Patty La, because Patty La continue to defund the public safety. And then right now, when we need a firefighter to respond, and then sure we have no firefighter, no fire truck, no water, no nothing. So I want to congratulate our council member Patty La successfully defunded the city, defunded the public safety, and then put all of the Pacific Palisade or whatever, whatever, everybody's life or property in danger. So she absolutely made it. Nobody could do that. Nobody could do that, but she made it successfully. Thank you very much. Next item, let's talk about number 13. 13. 13 is right. 13 is about the surplus money. Uh, Again, I want to continue to congratulate our council member Paddy La, is because every time, whenever, sometimes including me, we submit a ticket to Department Water and Power, and they say, "Well, sorry, we don't have funds for that. I'm sorry, we don't have enough manpower for that. I'm sorry, we cannot repair the road. We cannot fix the street light." But right now, I'm seeing you have something called a surplus money. You're gonna transfer that surplus money to the reserve fund of the city. But when all of the people, when making a public record request, or people are making a service request, you guys are continuing to say we don't have money. We have 1 year waiting period for fixing your sidewalk or fixing your street sign. But right here is clearly said you have a lot of surplus money right here. Going to my general public comment. So this is Energy Environment Committee. Okay. Energy Environment Committee that in our neighborhood, and then I want to congratulate Councilmember Patty La again. First of all, how come she's no longer interrupt the public comment today? She's so quiet. She always the bark. So energy environment, I want to talk about the big semi truck and then a lot of those motorcycle car with the big black smoke in the neighborhood. I reported to LAPD, Department of Public Works or whatever. But again, I don't have a response. But I just wish that somebody should dealing with a semi truck or any sort of vehicle when they are driving on the road. They have a big black smoke. That means that kind of vehicle should damage the air quality, are damaging the environment. So if we are talking about the environment committee, I believe we should deal with that, starting with our councilmember Patty La.
All right, let's go to the next public speaker. Please state your name and agenda items.
What do you care what my name is? So let's see here.
Start the clock.
You have a fucking surplus? Really? How come Imelda Padilla, doing business as Chinchilla, can't get the fucking street lights fixed on Balboa Boulevard and Woodley for a fucking year? If you got a surplus, why can't they go out there and turn the lights back the fuck on? How come we go to her and she can't get any fucking answers or funding? Do you know how many fucking crackheads set fires in the Sepulveda Basin because there's no streetlights? 5 a day. 5 minimum. By methamphetamine and fentanyl fucking smoking homeless cocksuckers that live in there, okay? But you guys got a surplus. So you see, when you come here at City Hall, you get retaliated against. So what happened was, they're telling me it's Unisys, it's CD1. They found a little bit of paperwork violation on my water bill. So they charged me $19 to fix it and $300 for a deposit.
1 minute remaining.
Thank you for fucking me in the ass, because you know how happy I get when I come here. So now we get to number one. Where is she? Where is the head of the Department of Water and Power? Where is she? Where the fuck is she? $750,000 a year in salary, not including pension, medical benefits, and fucking car and helicopter. Where is she? How come she's not here today? You're telling me, Goat Puppet 2.0 over here in Nazarian, you're telling me you're going to excuse this fucking thing? She's a city employee. Item one. How are you going to tell me because a bunch of lawsuits get filed, you can go? Then that's what you can all do. Imelda can do it tomorrow. I'll sue her tomorrow, and then she doesn't have to come to work and get paid because she can't testify because the city attorney says it's
General
attorney-client
comment
privilege.
time.
Where is the fucking water? What did you do with the goddamn water in the San Ynez Reservoir? Where is the fucking water? How come the water's not in the reservoir? It was drained 11 and a half months before the fucking fire to repair a tear in the cover set by the EPA in March 2013. That project was done 11 fucking years before the fire. There was a small tear in it. Why did you drain all the water out of the goddamn reservoir to fix the top of it? Do you know how many people died in that goddamn fucking fire? You know how many people lost their homes? You don't give a fucking shit. Because if you gave a shit, this lady would be here answering questions. So anyway, enjoy your pay and your benefits. Remember, 4 of you have already been indicted. More's coming.
Time's up.
Get ready.
Next speaker. Okay. Thank you very much. So let's, we're holding item 1 on the desk. We're ready to vote on the consent items. Mr. Clerk, what
Sorry, what are-
items can we vote on?
Can you remind me which ones are on consent?
Yes, the items on consent are items number 3, number 5, number 6, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 13, and 14. Yeah, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 13, and 14 on consent.
Before we make a motion to vote and proceed with the vote, public comment is done for the day and for the meeting, both agenda item as well as general. Thank you very much for all the comments. All right.
And this is for those items I just mentioned. Item, Councilmember Nazarian.
Yes.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky is currently absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman. Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
So these items are approved with 4 A's.
By the way, before we go on, did I need a second for the motion? Ms. Verado? Took it out of order. I'm assuming that's fine, Madam Attorney.
You have a second, so I think you can.
Thank you. All right. So let's go to item number 2. Ms. Padilla, the floor is yours.
Do we have anybody that can answer questions for this? Okay.
And prior to that, would you like it read into the record?
Sorry. Please do. Agenda item number 2.
Agenda
Correct.
item number 2, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners report relative to the Second Amendment to an agreement with Itron, Inc. for the distribution automation communication network solution and services.
Yes, hello. So I wanted to ask, I see from this that this is an original agreement that goes back to 2019 related to the modernization and electrical distribution grid through technology and intelligence, included a pilot deployment and smart meters. I was curious if you could give us a little bit of a snapshot of where we're at. And I am curious what the role is of the federal government with this and how you are partnering and what reaction you're getting from folks like the California Public Utilities Commission.
So good afternoon, council members. My name is Claudio Zama with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and I'm here with Iris Castillo, who's also my colleague. So as far as what we've accomplished so far with the contract,
Yeah, I can barely hear you too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
Okay, so I'll start from the start. So my name is Claudio Zama. I'm with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and I'm here with my colleague Iris Castillo. So as far as the contract, what has been completed so far, we've deployed about 4,200 smart meters across Los Angeles service territory, and that's more just for testing purposes and to confirm the how the functionality of the communication network is and that it's working. And so we've also completed about 85% of all the coverage in terms of communication network for the smart meters.
I'm so
top-
sorry to interrupt again, but I think if there's a engineer here, if you could just increase the volume on his mic. I think that might be helpful. I'm still having trouble hearing you. Maybe it's because of the horns.
Yeah.
Sure.
You said how many smart meters have been deployed across the city?
So far, we have 4,200 smart meters, 4,000.
Okay, I thought you said 42,000. So I'm
4,200. Yes. We have built the communications network as well to support all the smart meter deployment for the service territory at a 100%. We're about 86% complete for the communications network. As far as the smart meter, we're also completed building the backbone of the infrastructure that gathers all the data from the smart meters. So that's what we call the advanced meters head-end system, or the brains, if you will. So that's done. We've also completed like an integration piece to bring smart meter data into all the different systems, like for outage management, for our billing system. Right now, we are in the process of upgrading our billing system. So we only integrated to get information as meters get installed. We know where they are. So asset type of tracking. The amendment, part of what it's doing is adding the extension so that we can continue working on doing the integration to our new billing system. So as we deploy smart meters, we're also able to provide the billing.
Yeah. Okay, so then these smart meters are related to being able to better track consumer use and then use to create accurate bills. That's what I'm hearing.
Correct. So smart meters, the difference between what we have today and what these meters are going to be able to do is one big important piece is outage data into our system. Today, when a customer is out, we have to wait for the customer to report it, call us, right, to send us a message. Now we know that this customer is out. The smart meter, it's going to basically lose power and say, hey, I'm out of power, and it's going to send us that information. We don't need to wait for customers to call. We're going to start seeing all that information from all the smart meters, and we'll have the intelligence to start mapping the areas that are out. We'll also have the intelligence to map outages that are restored, right? So we'll be able to not only get the information, but give the information to customers in a better and quicker format, right? Getting that information and putting it into different platforms and customer data so that they're able to have it at hand. There's lots of programs and lots of things that the smart meter can give us, but it's definitely a start to give us the visibility into our network that we can provide the analytics to our customers and the analytics that we need, right? What are the lows? What are some of the issues that we have currently today? And we can start using some of that smart data to better enhance and provide reliability to our distribution network.
Okay, and well, I mean, you just recently had a situation where there was a lot of power outages. So was this recent disaster, did you learn anything from it? Did you see it work? Was it helpful? Like, did it in fact do what it was supposed to do and integrate into your existing systems to let you know what was happening in real time or in better time?
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's what we're trying to get to, right? We're trying to get to full AMI and having the smart meters into the network. Right now, we have 4,200 into a really wide area, so we only have a couple of meters out there. we have seen from what we are doing today is the smart meters are giving us information into what we call distribution management system, and we are able to get data already. What we need to do is grow to be able to actually get the information that we need. Part of the plan, and we're hoping to, is to, once we rebuild the Palisades, is to bring in this technology and be able to have that enhanced technology there to be able to have that information and provide the support that's needed.
Okay, and then there's the last thing. Not all of this grid is, or maybe I'm wrong, the grid is owned by multiple jurisdictions, right? So is this something that just DWP is leading on its own, or how does this play into working with the federal government and California Public Utilities Commission?
So all the areas where we will be deploying smart meters are within the jurisdiction of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. And we are currently at the point of installing everything that's in the back end. We have separate contracts for the work where we actually do the mass installations and other aspects that will probably involve the federal government if it's related to it. But as far as this contract goes and this extension, we're going to get that.
So thank you for that. No further questions.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, just thanks, Councilmember Padilla, for calling this item. Just to clarify, the $95 million contract is exclusively for installing smart meters?
No, so the $95 million contract is the total amount of the contract. This is amendment number 2, so we already spent a portion with building the communications and the brains that I talked about. We have some money left. It's roughly around 25 million, and that's to continue the work with the integration and also to continue the scope of some of the smart meter installation. There will be a separate contract for mass meter deployment that would be different. And then in parallel, right now we're working on a different RFP that's going to take over, because this is 18-month time frame. We need another contract to start looking at the full AMI deployment and incorporate, pretty much the entire vision of what we would like to do with the AMI program.
So this was just a pilot program?
You can consider it a start for us to learn and embed it into the long-term program.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, are you ready to call the roll?
Yes, and this would be for the approval of item number 2, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Nazarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Yours-Scalafly is absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman and Councilmember Padilla. So this item is passed.
Thank you. Colleagues, we go to item number 4 now. Can you please read the agenda, Mr. Ciale?
Item number 4, exemption Board of Water and Power Commissioners and City Attorney reports and ordinance relative to the second amended and restated Navajo agreements, updating various terms and conditions for the period of January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2029, to reflect current agreed responsibilities for the Navajo project ownership shares.
Thank you. Ms. Padilla and Ms. Rahman, you have the floor.
I just had a question about the nature of the restoration work specified here. I think my staff and I were looking at what exactly the nature of this work is, and we weren't able to get clarity from the documents in the council files. So we just want to understand a little bit more about what restoration is going on.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Faron Exarbos.
Can you please hold the mic closer to your mouth as you're speaking? Thank you. Or step up to the mic.
Good afternoon.
Much better.
Faron Exarbos. I am manager of transmission planning with LADWP. This project is in relation to Navajo
joint transmission projects that we have with other utilities, including APS. Since it was divested in 2019, the work that is supposed to be done, and taking back the generating station to removing the divesting from the coal, and the work that went into it is part of that restoration. It started with what divvy up the work that has to be done.
Sorry, what is part of the restoration?
The work that the digestion of the generation coal generation, and also clean up the generating station.
Got it. Thank you. So it's basically for moving away from use of the coal plant
Correct.
to clean up the site.
That's correct. And all the participants, all the costs associated with this work were part of the negotiations, sitting together, trying to divide how the work and the cost is going to be and what are the scope of the work. And it took several years for the, coming up with the plan and the cost. And we've been working on it since last year, and we're bringing it up to you guys for.
And just to underscore one more time, what will then remain after the plant is fully decommissioned is just the transmission system that will be part of the project and that will be operating in partnership with all of these different entities?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Padilla?
I have a question related to item 4, and it's actually very similar to what I have for item 7. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the entire Navajo project is supposed to be, and why it just seems like there's a lot of people at the table. What is the general kind of project? Because it looks like we're gonna have a lot of different items related to it.
Yeah, so the Navajo, sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
The Navajo system itself, the Navajo project comprised initially of the Navajo generating station, what's referred to as the southern transmission system and also the western transmission system. Now, all the participants and entities listed on there are participants of the entire project. Once the generating station was decommissioned in 2019, what we were left was the southern transmission system, which is operated by APS, Arizona Power Service Company, and also the western transmission system, which is operated by LA and NPE, Nevada Power Company. And so there's a lot of substations, there's a lot of transmission lines that are sort of part of this entire project. And as and when different, in terms of item 7, as and when different interconnection customers put in applications to connect to the system, all the Navajo participants are obligated to get those approved to their authorities, so that the customers, once they are all tested and approved, can connect to the system. Sort of the background on, I'm not sure if you're looking for more details, I can provide.
No, that's actually pretty good. Good enough. No further questions for today.
Thank you, Ms. Rahman and Ms. Padilla. No other members wishing to be heard? Mr. Clerk,
Is there a motion to approve?
thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Thank you. Second? Thank you. Let's call the roll, please.
Councilmember Dezarian
Aye.
and Councilmember Yaroslavsky is absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman and Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
So 4 ayes, and this item is passed.
Thank you. 5 and 6 were already on consent. Item number 7. Councilmember Padilla,
So my questions were answered with item 4.
you're good?
I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Councilmember Nazarian.
Aye.
And Councilmember Yaroslavsky is absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman.
Yes.
And Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
This item is passed.
Thank you. Let's go to item number 8. The the CLA can please read or clerk can please read the agenda item.
Certainly. Item number 8 is a Board of Water and Power Commissioners report relative to the First Amendments to agreements with Total Resource Management, Inc. and International Business Machine Corporations for Maximo Specialized Computer Software Services.
Thank you. Ms. Padilla, the floor is yours.
Yes, so, just being somebody that is also on government operations, I think people have noticed that I'm very interested and intrigued about what softwares our departments have at their disposals and what they do with it. So I wanted to know, for this price tag, what exactly does Maximal do for you? And how long is this 25 million? Oh, I do see the year, for a total of 4 years, going to do for the department.
Yeah, good afternoon, council members. My name is Andrew Hurd. I'm an Assistant Director of Information Systems with the Department of Water and Power. Happy to answer your question. Maximo is known as an enterprise asset management software tool. What you do with an EAM or an enterprise asset management tool is you describe your assets. Obviously, water and power as a utility is a very asset intensive organization. Things like transformers, power poles, water valves, etc. What you want to do is you want to describe those assets, you want to define them, you want to know where they're located, you want to have a maintenance cycle so that you know when an asset needs to be maintained. You want to track the asset through its service life. You want to retire the asset. You can move assets around the city as well. And that's primarily what Maximo does. But we also use Maximo to assist us with our material management practices, which is that when we procure materials in the department, we receive them so that we can do a three-way match with procurement and invoicing data that comes in from the procurement and the supplier community. But we also maintain an inventory of materials so that our field crews can come into a warehouse. They can get the materials that they need for the jobs that they're doing. And we maintain that inventory of those materials. And that is an inventory management system as well. So Maximo is both asset management as well as material management. That's what the system does.
Asset and material, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, and when you say, I want to make sure I understood. So water is considered an asset. So this actually measures like water throughout the system.
Well, Maximo is certainly an enterprise asset management system that can be utilized by both our power system as well as our water system. In today's world, Maximo is primarily being used by our power system, but it's part of our strategic direction to make more use of asset management within our water system, and we're beginning to do that. So water is beginning to strategize how they want to deploy an asset management solution within the water infrastructure. So it's in the early stages. And that's part of the reason why we're asking for this amendment. We're not asking for more money. We didn't spend the money that was originally authorized, but we ran out of time to actually do some of the strategic things that we wanted to do, such as bringing more of the water infrastructure into Maximo.
It sounds like we're probably going to use this a lot in the near future.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, and then so I know, I would imagine that we can measure our water supply as an asset by gallons, so to speak. How do you measure power as an asset, especially with more homes starting to bring in a surplus of energy with things like solar powers on their homes?
Yeah, so I mean, Maximo is not really designed to measure that metric. What it's designed to do is to give us a profile of the assets that are in our either power infrastructure or water infrastructure that is used to, generate, deliver the power, the water to the customer. So I don't think that for the purposes of your question, that software is going to do those measurements.
Okay, and last question is, what about real estate? Is real estate incorporated into this software as an asset?
No, not at this time. And there's no plans, to my knowledge, to bring real estate in as an asset. It's an interesting question. I don't know whether it could or couldn't. I don't know that Maximo is envisioned for that type of an asset, but possibly it could. But I do know that our real estate group, has the procedures, the policies, and the resources that they need to manage the real estate of the Department of Water and Power. And to my knowledge, they have not reached out to us on the Maximo team with an interest in exploring that, but that's certainly a possibility.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay. You're welcome. Any other
Thank you, Ms.
questions?
Padilla. Anybody else wishing to be heard on this? If not, do I need a motion in a second?
Yeah.
Ms. Padilla, thank you. Ms. Serrato, second. Let's call the vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Nazarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky is currently absent. Councilmember Geraldo, Councilmember Rahman, and Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
This item is approved.
Thank you.
On to item 11. Mr. Ciele, can you please read the agenda item?
Item number 11 is initial study, mitigated negative declaration and Board of Public Works report relative to the California Environmental Quality Act determinations and execution of a memorandum of agreement for the Stormwater Capture Parks program.
Thank you. Ms. Padilla, floor is yours.
Before I ask questions, can you give us a little summary of this item?
Sure, yes. So, good afternoon, honorable council members. My name is Anthony Nersessian. I'm with the Watershed Management Group, which is responsible for stormwater capture planning at LADWP. And the MOA memorandum of agreement that we're executing with our partners at the Department of Public Works, as well as the Department of Recreation and Parks, is basically to facilitate the implementation of 7 stormwater capture projects in the eastern San Fernando Valley. Those projects will capture about 600 million gallons per year. The item today that's being presented to you all is regarding the California Environmental Quality Act. So as far as background on the projects themselves, we will be digging up the earth, implementing underground subterranean stormwater infiltration galleries, covering it up, restoring the park to its previous condition, as well as making improvements to recreational amenities on city-owned land. So as far as the background, we're doing this for groundwater replenishment. And with that, I'd like to answer any other questions you may have.
Yeah, and I don't think that maybe they're all get answered today, but I am curious what the role is of a park by the name of Roy Shaw that is also supposed to be related to stormwater capture and water recharge that was supposed to be done by the county. How does this play into the overall goals of the city's stormwater capture program?
So Rory M. Shaw is a separate project with our partners at the Los Angeles County Flood Control District. Rory M. Shaw, while it is going to be improved to have various public-friendly amenities, is not a part of the 7-park project program. However, it will benefit the city's overall stormwater capture goals. So the city has a goal of capturing approximately 150,000 acre feet per year of stormwater capture by the year 2035. And so while that project will contribute towards that goal, it is not a part of this program that's being presented on this item today.
Okay, and the reason why I ask is because if memory serves me right, there was always, there used to be, it was dismantled by the previous generation of the city council, entire group that was called the Urban Watershed Council related to Sun Valley. And I've just kind of noticed that a lot of the, it almost feels like what's being funded are things that are more, a little more scattered than their original vision plan. So I'm curious, how did the, what was your methodology that showed that David Gonzalez Park would be a good fit? And instead of focusing on regions like Sun Valley, it seems like there's a lot more shift towards North Hollywood.
If you can answer the question in light of what the agenda item is, that would be appreciated.
Okay, so before I answer that question, I would like to introduce my colleague at the Bureau of Engineering regarding the agenda item in the California Environmental Quality Act. Would you like her to speak on that prior to the question?
Whoever would be best.
Hi, I'm Jan Green Repstock. I serve as an environmental affairs officer with the Department of Public Works and the Bureau of Engineering, and I'm happy to step you through the CEQA actions that we're bringing forward to you today. So this project had a mitigated negative declaration prepared by the LADWP, which they adopted in 2021, and we reviewed the record on the projects since their approval action and today and prepared a technical memo and also summarized the 22 mitigation measures that the Bureau of Engineering will be in charge of implementing through the design and construction of the project. So the technical memo is there in the transmittals as well. So we're asking council members to recommend city adoption again of the ISMND and the MMRP and the various roles and responsibilities associated with implementing the CEQA document. And if you have any questions on the mitigation measures or the environmental impacts from the program, I'm happy to speak to that.
So I'm assuming that based on the comments from the city attorney, you can't at this moment tell me about the methodology related to why things shifted from Sun Valley to more North Hollywood, Pacoima?
So that is not my area of expertise. I can toss it back over to one of the PMs associated with the project. My focus is on the environmental review of the program, assessing the work that LADWP did, and seeing if there's any change in the circumstances that will require additional CEQA actions associated with that.
So point of clarification, what's before the body now is a recommendation relating to the CEQA document associated with the four corners of the program that is analyzed under that CEQA document. So you can speak to the CEQA document,
Yes.
and you can speak to the program that's contained or described, the project in that document. Is that fair?
My colleague can speak to the program as a whole and the program elements associated with that, and I can speak to the environmental issues that were discussed in the CEQA document.
Okay, can we hear a little bit more about the elements? By park?
Right. So I guess your question, council member, is more so targeting as far as why these projects in these areas. So
And what's going to be done at each one?
I'm sorry.
Like, how does it accomplish the goal, these specific parks?
These 7 projects, yes. So they will be capturing approximately 1,800 acre feet per year, which is approximately 600 million gallons of water per year on average rainfall conditions. And the reason why we chose these various parks is from a cost benefit standpoint. So these projects are adjacent to large stormwater infrastructure, conveyance lines such as open channels or pipes. And in this area used to be the older Tahunga Wash. Now it's been built over, but the soils are very alluvial, porous, and conducive to groundwater replenishment. So as far as why we selected these sites, those are the reasons why. And to add, as far as Council District 6, we do have one project that is being implemented as a part of this 7-project program, and that is the stormwater capture project at Fernandez Park.
Yeah, familiar. I'm 6 too.
Oh, 2. Yeah, well, when it comes to CD2, we have 5 others.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, not at this moment. Very helpful. Thank you.
And Ms. Padilla, just so you know, I actually inquired about the disparity of the number of projects in different districts. From what first of all, these every item that we just heard today was supposed to be heard in a previous meeting before I even took over as a chair last month. Because of a series of events, council meetings running long, lawsuits and closed sessions, or whatever the reasons, multiple different reasons were, several meetings were canceled and these items were all continued. So no change has been made to any of the content. And from what I understand, these projects are all pretty much shovel ready and the financing is there. In fact, there were other projects in CD2 in the North Hollywood area that were ready to go as well, but were not included because of the cost of one of them was exceeding 100 million, if I'm not mistaken. So this package includes everything that was absorbed in this funding period. So with that said, any other questions or comments from anyone? Not hearing any. Do I have a motion and a second? Motion and a second. Ms. Rahman and Ms. Rado second. Thank you. Let's call the vote, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Nazarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky is currently absent. Councilmember Geraldo.
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman and Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
This item is also approved.
Great. Let's go to the last item on the docket, 12. Mr. CLA, can you please read the agenda item?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Item number 12 is City Administrative Officer Report relative to the submittal of 2 applications for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Solid Waste Infrastructure for Recycling Grants for political subdivisions of states and territories for fiscal year 2024.
Thank you. Ms. Padilla.
So I wanted to know if there was, I just kind of wanted to know what your, if, correct me if I'm wrong, this is telling us that you're applying for this, and these are the ones that you're shooting to do. Can you elaborate a little bit on your plan on how you want to do these 24 household hazard waste mobile collection events, and also a little bit more on what you want to do related to the plastic reduction program?
Yeah, I'll start off with a just quick introduction. Paul Cobian, Environmental Affairs Officer, LA Sanitation. So this grant is being offered by the US EPA in the amount of $275 million. And so this is round 2 that we're applying for. I have a colleague, engineer.
Very sorry to interrupt, but I guess we're having some challenges with, by the way, if you were sitting here, A, you would not be hearing it well. I don't know why. 2, there's an echo effect that further complicates it hearing it from here. So, and then a little while ago, there was quite a bit of honking outside. I don't know what the event was. So I apologize for constantly reiterating this, but if you can step up very close to the mic so we can hear clearly, that would be of great help.
Sure.
Hello, council members. My name is Pablo Hernandez
Thank you.
And good afternoon, council members. I'm Mary Benson, also part of the Household Hazardous Waste Recycling Group.
Welcome. Good to see you, Ms. Benson.
So in response to the question regarding the household hazardous waste events, these are events that we have had historically throughout the city of Los Angeles, throughout all the council districts. We had to choose, well, it's 24 events, 8 events per year. And these are locations that we've already worked in, we're familiar with. We've held these events for many years. We took a short break after the pandemic, but we're back to hosting them. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of money, so this grant would help us continue these programs. In addition to household hazardous waste, we're collecting electronic waste, and we work with our 2 contractors, Clean Harbors and ERI. I don't know if I'm missing part of the question.
And as far as the question for the Comprehensive Plastics Reduction Program, October 1st of 2024, City Council had approved the Comprehensive Plastics Reduction Program, including the program EIR. And so one of the outcomes from that motion was for us to also consider and look at additional funding to support pilot programs and any other funding associated with some of these initiatives that the city was looking at in terms of reducing and eliminating plastics. When we saw this solicitation for the grant, fit perfectly and aligned with that. So this is why we're back we want to apply. We think it's a good opportunity for us to continue to reach, as Chair Nazarian said in his opening statement, zero waste is one of the goals that sanitation is committed to achieving. And so we believe both of these grants align with those city goals.
I do have one more question. Is this the sort of grant that, if awarded, if implemented by city staff, or is this an opportunity to partner up with community-based organizations to get the work done?
So for both, so we had two applications for the same grant. They highly encourage partnering with nonprofit organizations in order to achieve the goals of the proposal. But yes, that is the goal.
Okay, no further questions.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak or comment? No? With that, is there a motion and a second? Thank you. Ms. Padilla, Ms. Rahman, second. Let's call the roll, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Nazarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky is currently absent. Councilmember Geraldo. Councilmember Rahman and Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
This item is approved.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I also want to just say thank you to all the staff that was here making presentations. It's great to see the ratepayer advocate as well here. Members, although as a city and as a committee, we have a lot of work ahead of us, and I know we still have many pressing questions. In this committee, we will have several opportunities in the upcoming months to speak further with DWP and sanitation regarding the current emergency we're facing and its recovery. And with that, members, we have concluded our agenda. Appreciate your work and look forward to the next meeting. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.